Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday Tat Chat. This is episode 96 with Nick and myself here. Welcome to everyone in the chat. Say hi, Nick.
Was that me?
Tuesday
Have I got the
Chat. This is
hang on?
episode 96. Is it you? With Nick. And
it's you. Yes, it's me. Hang
it's
on.
You.
I had it open.
Oh, amateur.
Oh, fail. All right, hold on. Yeah, I'm good. Let me just pop out the chat and get myself organised.
Yep.
Yes.
It's been one of those hectic days again when just make it on. I was just saying to Nick, guys, that I've actually got my landlord coming around to sort something out in our kitchen, and I'm really worried he's going to hear everything I'm going to say, and he's going to be like, "What the hell is this guy doing?" Or
you'll get a free masterclass in whatever we're going to talk about. As if.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a weird day actually, because I didn't particularly have loads to do, but I went and picked up that monster thing there.
Oh, epic.
Yeah. Which we'll chat about later maybe, but yeah. I've just been feeling really not very well, so I've not been really plowing through much. I tried to get an FBA shipment done, but yeah, just under the weather, so not been very productive to say the least.
Yeah, I've same here. We'll go into the chat and we'll yeah. When I say same here, I mean I've not been very productive as well. Like just and I think the sales have reflected that, but we'll see. We've got over 60 people watching so far, and quite a few people in the chat. We'll go through and say a few hellos before we start the topic. Give people a chance to join in. We've got Peter Cummins, Peter Ray, Indie Chick. Southwest Sellers is in here. Panzer 1511. Chelsea has joined us, as has George Ross. Obviously, I've said Peter Ray, John Brady. Just scrolling down quickly, Malinky has joined us as well. Treasure Pirate as well. Heather Burgoski, Darren Smart's in the chat. Supermod, so thank you for joining us, Daz, as always. Stu Mandry, JMO, Witchwood Dreams. And everyone else, thank you very much for joining. I'm sorry, I always get into the habit. Do you ever find that it's a struggle when you start reading, you don't know when to stop?
Yeah, because you think if I don't carry on, that person that's next will feel left out.
Yeah, like if we don't mention your name in the chat, it's not because we don't think you're all epic. Karin's just popped in. Pete's Retro Collectibles. It's not that. It's just like Nick said.
Well, we could be here all night just reading out
saying names,
comments. Yeah. So, it's a thin line between paying attention to the chat and not being able to actually converse between ourselves,
and hopefully give you guys something interesting to think about. Which is always the main point, I suppose. That's what kind of started the whole community off, really, wasn't it? When you decided, Nick, that actually I've got some knowledge to share.
Yeah,
it wasn't always.
We try and shoehorn some knowledge in these rambling chats. Let's put it that way. We try and have an ounce of reselling related input. So let's. What have you come up with today, Z?
Well, today I thought we would talk about the title of obviously the TATCHAT is comfort zones and how to push yourself out of them. I always find this to be like an interesting topic personally, because I feel that unless you're constantly looking at what you're doing and trying to push yourself, then you can easily get into a routine. And that's not a bad thing, because routines can be good. Like if you find something that works for you, whether that be in reselling, whether that be in like your lifestyle generally, if you find something that works for you, the natural thing to do is to just keep doing it, right? And hopefully develop it as a good habit. But I think especially in business, I suppose, especially in like reselling where things are changing so often, that can actually end up being a dangerous thing. And because if you end up being stuck in your ways, that's the other way of looking at it. Developing a good habit and sticking at it is the positive way to look at it. I suppose the negative slant on the same phrase would be if you're stuck in your ways, it can harm you. So I thought it would be an interesting topic that, on how you can, stop yourself from getting stuck in the same old routines, realizing when things are working for you, realizing when they're not, and how do you get I don't know, the guts, I don't know if that's the right word, to push yourself and do things that you haven't done.
Cool.
So yeah.
I was going to say, just touching on what you were just saying about how sticking to one thing and doing that one thing really well can be a positive. And I really believe it can be. But I think a lot of that comes down to personality type. We've touched on this in the past. Certainly for myself, I've tried going down that route and I've seen the benefits of specializing because you know your subject matter inside out, with like with Lego. But the big downside for my personality type is I got bored. And kind of through necessity, I have branched out into all different areas. But you know, we've all seen those amazing stores on eBay that specialize in one thing and do it so well. But I think you have to be super focused and very dedicated and very, you know, kind of blinkered into that to be able to concentrate on one thing and do it well. And I've admitted to myself that's not me. I get much more enjoyment and I think more productivity in a roundabout way from doing kind of everything, from having many fingers in many pies.
I suppose that's quite an important point to point out, because you're saying that your personality dictates that you're almost forced into trying new things, and that will obviously always keep you moving. I mean, before the chat started earlier on, I mentioned to you, like, I suppose an example of pushing your boundaries is this charity walk we're doing, and I know we're going to talk about this a lot over the next few months. And there is a link for Moonwalk London 2018 in the description in case anyone wants to donate some more, or if you haven't donated yet, you can go there and donate. But that is something that I feel is I was almost pushed to do it, and I don't understand why. But I know that I'm not ready for it. I think if I was like, if I had a six pack and a size 30-inch waist,
like me,
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure I'd.
Oh,
I'm not sure I'd be as passionate about doing it, maybe because I knew I'd physically be able to do it. I think part of the attraction of doing this moonwalk is knowing that, and in my current state, there's no way I can do it.
I think a huge part of your personality, you have that risk taker in you. You said before, you know, you have to keep away from casinos and that sort of thing because you have that risk taker kind of gambling element, and that's a part of it. And I certainly have that. If something's a big challenge and people are saying, if people tell me I can't do something, that's like a red rag to a bull to me. And yeah, the challenge is half of the fun in a lot of things. And if you've got that element in you, I think reselling attracts a lot of people that are that way inclined anyway, because it's those people that can see an opportunity, see a challenge and think, yeah, I can do this. I can make some money out of nothing, which is essentially what we do. We generate money out of thin air by picking up something here, passing it on to someone else, and we take something out of the middle. It's like a magic trick. And if you're that way inclined and you see the challenge and relish it, I think a lot of resellers share that. I think we certainly do. And this whole moonwalk thing is, yeah, we're unfit. We right now probably couldn't do it. Let's sign up.
I mean, exactly. I think for me, it was obviously the charity element that goes without saying almost, doesn't it? But there's different ways of doing it. And I think, like, when I did the Brave the Shave and shaved all my hair off, you know, that was a comfort zone thing as well. I almost felt that you know, Rebecca had done this moonwalk before, and I wanted to do something for charity, and in a way, I went for the Brave the Shave because I realized there wasn't much required of me other than braving the shave, right?
Yeah.
Which I almost knew I could handle it, right? It wasn't, you know, because I'm not going to say I was really difficult. I mean, I think you guys have seen that I've been quite happy to not wear a cap or anything. It's not like I did have those doubts, like I'll wear a cap. That's how I kind of told myself I'd go through it. But in the end, it didn't bother me. I think that also made me realize that when we next started talking about doing something else for charity, I thought I definitely wanted to do something that's definitely far out. And you know, for us, I mean, look at me, guys. I'm like a shade under 18 stones. I mean, I really do mean that, a shade. Like I think it was like 17, 12 or something like that. So I'm like the weight of a professional rugby player or heavyweight boxer, but with none of the physique. So it's a challenge.
But that's it. I think there's something in the sort of thought that if something is difficult, it's worth doing. There's a saying around that somewhere. I can't put
There is, but I'm not going to try to pretend that I know it.
So yeah, it's great. And I think also going back to when you obviously shaved all your hair off live on YouTube, that may be kind of in your comfort zone. To a lot of people, that really wouldn't be. And it's something you'd never done before, certainly not live to the internet. So it was still putting yourself outside your little comfort zone, if you like.
I mean, definitely, especially when the makeup came out and things. That was definitely out of my comfort.
It was a moment, because obviously I was in the stream with you. I thought, where is this going? This is like, wow. Are the stockings and suspenders coming out next or what? I was like, wow.
But we also mentioned, for example, your mother recently. I mean, you uploaded a video.
Yeah.
She has no business walking on fire, but she did it. I mean, there's something about, I suppose, certain personality types, right?
Yeah, she has that element. You know, she goes hiking up mountains and all these sort of things, and going in hot air.
That's so cool.
And she's, you know, well into her 60s. So yeah, I've got a lot of respect for my mum. But she wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for charity. You see, that the charity was the push. It was the nudge to get her to do it.
And I think also I'd say you've got things like, we often get comments in the chat, don't we, that I really want to start a YouTube channel and I'm worried. Again, that's a comfort zone thing, and it's about it is about the challenge. I think the challenge is a key thing for me, at least. I'm sure other people may have, like you touched on, like other reasons, like for example, boredom can necessitate it. Like if you're someone that can't just be focused on one thing, and just you're not someone that's just going to stick to one craft and just happily hone it for the years to come, then you're going to need you're probably going to be the type of person that needs challenge to get out of their comfort zone. Whereas if you're someone that's easily distracted and can't stick to one thing, needs lots of different things, like us, I suppose, then the reason to get out of the comfort zone is within that, isn't it? So.
And also the element, a lot of the element of when I chatted to Craigslist Hunter, Pete, about this, about both of us having several businesses over the years, many of which were failures, but still getting up and starting again and trying something new, because it's kind of, I don't know, you throw enough stuff at the wall and some of it's going to stick. And that was kind of, it never put me off failing in my first 2 business ventures and lost a lot of money. Eventually I got the formula right, and we had a huge success. And that was, I suppose it's not really getting out of your comfort zone, but it's the ability to get off your feet when you've been knocked down off the floor, rather, and start again.
But I think that's another part of it, like that I touched on earlier. I know it's not strictly like just your comfort zone, but I suppose that's knowing the difference on knowing when to quit, or the difference when to try something else. I mean, you could have easily gone through one of your failures and thought, you could have made the mistake of thinking, well, clearly I'm not cut out for this business because I've tried it now and it hasn't worked. But you knew that maybe you hadn't given it your best shot. And, that, I suppose, would have kept you, or did you give it your best shot? Because that would be even more confusing.
Yeah. I tell you what it is, I think it is I'm as stubborn as hell. That's what it comes down to with me.
So it was going to work.
I felt like the universe was saying, Nick, you're not making any money at these crazy business ventures. Just quit. And no, we actually took it further the 3rd time, and both Andrea and I quit our jobs and started where we got to now 15 years ago. So it was like, this isn't working. This isn't working. Okay, we're going to go bigger. And we're going to quit. We both got ourselves decent jobs, and now we're going to throw all of that in and try again. And everyone's
that extra risk was a change, though. So you tried 2 things, and you could almost argue that by going all in, like with Andrea as well, was, that was like actually like a you decided, well, the previous formulas haven't worked. What have we not tried? So it's that
tried risking everything.
and the key is, you'll know if you're good at getting out of comfort zones, I suppose, if you're constantly doing something differently. It's almost that way because you
Yeah.
know that you just never want to stand still. You never want the status quo to be it. You know, even if you're doing well,
Yeah, yeah. I
there's
do find
it's
it
really
hard
weird.
concentrating on what I'm doing
Yeah.
right now, even on a
Yeah.
daily basis. I find it hard to say, like, this is what I'm doing today. I'm doing an FBA shipment, but you can guarantee today I've gone off on tangents and started doing other stuff. And it's like that again comes down to a lot of personality, I think. And that isn't always very constructive, that part of it, the scatterbrain bit. But yeah.
Let's pop into the chat a bit. And
Yeah, somebody mentioned somebody was doing a marathon before. It was a great comment. Let me see if I can find it. Witchwood Dreams got a friend that's running the London Marathon next year. She's currently
epic.
only just starting. Couch to 5K and trying to stop smoking and drinking. She will do it, and so will you.
Wow. See that, that is epic. I've just seen that actually.
Yeah.
It shows, if you do push yourself, then definitely that's a perfect example of it. It's like constantly challenging yourself to do better, and like even if things are going well for you, I suppose it's knowing that they can always go better, and it's for the challenge of it. I suppose it's why I suppose it's one of the things that always pops to my mind is I know he's not the most popular person in the world, but there's a reason why someone like Rupert Murdoch is still going to work, because he's always looking for ways to increase his power and his influence, even at whatever age he is now, like in his late 80s, right? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he wealth beyond most people's imagination,
Yeah.
business success, but Warren Buffett's another great example, isn't it? I mean, he's people still look towards what fresh ideas in terms of the world of investing is he going to come up in. The guy's, you could say the guy's done it all like nth times over, but he just still does it. He still has that drive to find new ways of doing it, because obviously I suppose investing back in the 50s and 60s was probably a bit easier than it is now, finding those opportunities to find profits, which he still does. He's doing it even now. It's harder, and I suppose that's the challenge, and he's always looking for new ways.
Yeah, I think it does come down to the challenge with these uber rich people. They don't have to get out of bed and go to work. They don't have to do anything. They could sit on their own desert island, sipping cocktails.
Yeah.
But there's something in them that loves being challenged and that loves, hustling and keeping going and finding the next deal and all of that stuff. There was a great comment in here that proves that getting out of your comfort zone doesn't always work out, and you've got to be prepared to fail. Failure is always an option, people. And it was Matt who said, I went out of my comfort zone and bought electronics last week and bought a Technics system. I had to refund 50 quid because I didn't test it properly. But you can look at that two ways. You can say, I'll never touch an electronics again because I lost out on 50 quid. Or I've learned that lesson. I know there's money in electronics. I'm never going to do that again.
Exactly.
As in, not test it properly.
It's a lesson. Yeah. And I mean, Richard Howell made a lovely comment saying, I have you two guys, Nick and Z, for getting me out of my comfort zone. I now buy games, consoles, and toys. I used to walk by all these items. Now I try to buy them. Thanks, guys, for opening my eyes to these. I mean, those are like some amongst the starting point for a lot of people, and from there, I'm sure you're going to be picking up even more and more, different items. So it was there's so much opportunity out there when it comes to finding different items as well, that by challenging yourself to learn about new items, it's always a good thing to do.
And it leads to unexpected things. We
Yeah.
said this time and time again, the whole YouTube thing has led to some of the best deals and sales I've ever had directly through YouTube. It's led to, Peter just said, actually, Peter Ray in the chat, he said, it's great to get out of your comfort zone as it takes you out of yourself to meet new friends and make new skills, etc. And it's true. Sometimes when you take a leap of faith into something that perhaps scares you, that fear probably tells you should be giving it a go. Feel the fear and do it anyway, and it will lead to places that you can imagine. And that is so true of YouTube. I know we've had a similar experience. We couldn't have imagined where this would have taken us, what we've learned out of it and what we've given. just all through going, okay, I'm going to make videos on my own in my office. You know, it's just so bizarre when you start.
Yeah.
Everyone has that first video moment where you're like, okay, this is just weird. But once you get into it and you learn and you start to get interaction.
And there's nothing funnier, isn't there, than going back and watching your own.
Oh, I find it painful,
Yeah.
really do.
You just go back and watch them. Darren has actually just commented something which is really good as well. He said, when I started reselling, the whole scene was out of my comfort zone, but been the best thing I've ever done. And I remember Darren actually talking about how he had like, you know, anxiety in terms of going out there, getting out there, and talking to people. And it just shows, like, the change in Darren has been like epic, really, hasn't it? It's been so nice to see, and it's because the first steps are obviously the most difficult to push yourself to do something that you're not used to doing.
Yeah. I concur with that as well. And one thing that I still have to give myself that nudge to do is to talk to people. People watching me on here will assume I'm very outgoing, I'm very outspoken, and that it's not actually the case. That's something I have to make myself do. And a lot of that has been learned through reselling and through going out there and talking to people and starting that conversation and leading it onto a deal. But that never came naturally to me. I'd rather, be invisible and be anonymous.
Now, here's something that does.
Who knows? But it's really helped, I think.
Here's something that really does scare me. Stu Mandry has just said, Zia Nick, when it comes to pushing yourself to do new challenges, you're slowly working your way up to doing a parachute jump, don't you?
Now, didn't we have a conversation about this?
Never.
But we did. We were chatting. I think it was when we were deciding, were we going to go for this marathon thing? And jumping out of an airplane came up, and out of the four of us, I was the only one going, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm going to be a hypocrite now and be like, that is just, no, there's just no way. I know.
Now you've adamantly said no, for like, I'm going to be pestering you about it for years.
You can never say never, I suppose, but like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm just, Adam 3D Framer says it's better to try and fail than never to try at all.
I live by that. I honestly live by that. I said it many times. I'd rather be the guy when I'm 85 or something, sitting there thinking, oh yeah, I tried that, lost loads of money. Oh yeah, I tried that and failed. Oh yeah, I tried that, but still being happy that I tried.
Yeah.
And if you try enough things, something will work out.
And comfort zones don't. I think the other thing to bear in mind is getting out of your comfort zone can sound grand, and it can sound like, oh, look at me, I'm breaking out. And I suppose the title of this chat as well is, like, how to push yourself out of them. It can make it sound like it's a big thing, but it really can be the smallest of things. And I think Sib K's made like a really great comment. He said, I was thinking about comfort zone today, but not the same way. But rather than buying anything and everything, his getting out of his comfort zone was actually to not to buy too much, like actually leaving stuff that he doesn't feel is now worth his time, I suppose. And I think that's a good point, because breaking out of your comfort zone doesn't have to be a big, like, bold a change. It can be a really small change. I mean, and the more you do, I suppose, the more things that you're changing overall, it is a big effect.
I think that's a great comment, actually.
And because small things can have a big effect, can't they? Like, small changes can have a big effect. Like, for example, learning how to take better photos is only a small thing, but when you think about it, it's just a small thing to learn, right? Learn to take better photos, like with a white background and some nice bright lights, so your eBay photos look better. It's only a small thing, but you might have never really handled a digital camera, and you might not have ever learned about turning the flash off, or this or that or the other. It's only a small, tiny thing, but the impact that would have on your business if you weren't doing it before would be huge. Like, if all your photos were taken with auto flash and reflections and grainy and just not very good, and you didn't know how to crop a photo, you didn't understand what that meant. We take it for granted, I think, sometimes, things like cut and paste and crop and things. It's still new to a lot of people, and
it's true. And the real small thing, like I was saying before, just forcing yourself to get outside of your comfort zone, in my case, and talk to that dealer you see once a week at the boot sale, and say to him, hi there, I do this for a living.
Yeah.
I'm after consoles, electronics, whatever it is. I mean, we've all heard stories of people that have made a contact and it's made them a fortune. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
We've all, yeah.
who was I chatting to?
I think you said it yourself, actually, Nick, that, it didn't come naturally to you to approach
Not
people
at
to
all. It
network.
still doesn't. It still, that's an area that I have to make myself do. I'm not naturally, oh, hi there, and I'll chat the socks off anyone. That's not me. I've had to learn how to be social.
But
But it
that, but that in itself, it sounds like such a small thing. If I said to you, getting out of your comfort zone, it's like talking to people. You know, it makes it sound like a small thing, but to you, it's still significant, and more significant than that are the results it's brought you.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing I guess I've never really thought about it like that. But the one thing I've had to learn and has really helped me make money is the ability to chat to people, to open up an avenue into, oh, okay, I'll come around your house and look at your shed full of gear like I did with all those tools not long ago. I just wouldn't have done that 10 years ago,
Yeah.
and it's opened up, yeah, I picked up some tools on the day from the store, but because I forced myself to say, oh, by the way, have you got any more of this? Or I'm interested in buying this sort of stuff. Do and it opens doors. It doesn't always work. But yeah, that's been a huge, huge help to me. And it's still something I have to press that switch in my head and say, do it, Nick. I know you don't like it, but just have a chat.
And exactly. And I mean, Indie Chicks made a really good comment as well, that it's not long before that what was previously out of your comfort zone becomes your new comfort zone.
Yeah.
And then,
because you learn what's the worst that can happen kind of scenario. And I've chatted to enough people that I know nothing bad's going to happen. It still doesn't come naturally to me, but I know it's just another thing I do. And I chat to people, and there's quite a lot of enjoyment I get out of it now. It's come that far that I do know once I get into a chat with someone, it's fun, and it's just being social.
We should just mention Krillin has given us the obligatory $2 super chat comment. So thank you, Krillin. Appreciate it. He's actually got a super chat for you saying Nick just had an item that didn't arrive to Italy GSP.
But at least you'll be covered because it's GSP, so it's eBay's problem, right?
It's unlucky, Krillin, but Italians are okay.
I'm way behind in the chat here. Darren's just said, actually, going on what we were just saying about talking to people, he says, I've just set up a network with a local trade-in shop owner, known him for 7 years and only just made it happen. Networking is definitely out of my comfort zone still. Yeah, you see, same here. And I bet most people watching this would assume I go around chatting to everybody and feel great about it. I have to push myself to do that. But yeah, it's opened doors. And that's a perfect example. I still haven't made contacts in local charity shops I've been going in for like a decade.
Isn't that weird?
I've heard people saying, yeah, I go out the back in my charity shop and I take them in donuts once a week and this sort of stuff. I can't do that. That's a step beyond, but perhaps I should make myself do that.
And Peter Ray's just made quite a good comment as well. He said that's what I feel like he wanted to push himself to start doing YouTube, and now he's ended up enjoying it. As he started, he was as I started, he was nervous like hell, but now I'm way less nervous and happy doing it, and the subscribers are climbing up. So definitely, Peter Ray's, that's a great example. He's a great example to all of us, actually, that if you do fancy starting a YouTube channel about whatever it is, just do it and you will feel better. I mean, if that's what you want to do. I think sometimes people feel that they have to somehow be an authority on what they're speaking about, and YouTube's not about that. It really isn't. See, I'm an authority. That's why I can say this. YouTube is not about that. It's just about make whatever video you want to make as long as it's legal. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. You don't have to know about the topic you're talking about. And I tell you what, if anything, if you set yourself up as someone that knows about things, you're going to get a lot more flack than if you just say what you want to say. Yeah. Like, especially when I used to do tech. Yeah, no, go on.
We make a point of saying that we don't know everything about this. We just happen to be two blokes who do this for a living, muddling through and making the best out of it.
Yeah.
We don't know everything. We don't do everything right. We don't have the answers. We're just sharing what we do. But I think Peter's example is great. And what I'd say to anyone that's thinking about, let's take YouTube for the example, thinking about doing that. We were in that position. I was in that position only 3 years ago, thinking, what on earth am I doing? Not imagining I'd get any subscribers or views or whatever. And it's taken me this far. But yeah, so just remember that everybody was in your position if you're thinking of starting something. It's the same with the business. You know, we were all there thinking, oh my God, this is scary. I'm risking a lot. I'm taking on a lot. I don't know what I'm doing. I was that guy.
Yeah. Will it ever happen? Will I ever make, will I ever be able to make £300 of sales in a week? And before you know it, you're making £300 sales in a week.
Yeah.
And then you'll be doing more and thinking, how did I ever just manage to only do 300? And then it grows and grows and grows. And before you know it, you can be wherever you want.
Something I repeat to myself when I'm questioning, should I do something, is that the easiest way to fail at something, there's a guaranteed way to fail at something, and it's not to start.
Yeah.
And it's if you tell yourself that, it's like, oh, okay, you've got to give yourself a fighting chance of making a success out of something by actually starting. And that is the hardest bit. You know what I mean? Once you've got over that and you've committed, you're halfway there.
Completely. Corin's actually brought in quite an interesting dynamic. She says, I live with a man who loves to stay in his comfort zone. It's always me that pushes us to do different things. Well, he's a very lucky man then, Corin, because I think that's quite an interesting dynamic that brings to it. Because if you're in a relationship, or wow, this resale chat's gone quite I just said, if you're in a relationship, it sounds a bit like weird. If you're in a relationship where one of you has that drive and to try different things and the other person doesn't, even if it's as simple as when you go to get your KFC, someone always chooses the bargain bucket, and you want to say, why don't you just try the boneless banquet or something? Why do you always go for
just shoehorn KFC into this discussion? How does that even happen?
Well, I miss it because I don't get to have KFC with my family anymore since my wife decided not to eat meat. So,
life's tough.
I know. I know it's really bad, but I give her a hard time for it. I shouldn't, should I?
What, being a vegetarian?
Yeah.
No.
Not a hard time, but I say to her,
too, mate.
I say to her things like, "Are you done yet? Like, you sure you don't fancy a bit of chickens?" And she just looks at me with this really bad stare.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Going back to the comment of or the discussion of
going back to the point at hand,
living with somebody who perhaps isn't a risk taker or doesn't like to push themselves. I think every relationship is like that in some way, because you're never going to be the same.
No.
And I think with myself and Andrea, I'm the one who'll come up with the crazy things and perhaps push it that bit further. And I'm always coming up with new ideas. And Andrea is that bit more level-headed and applies some logic to it all, maybe. So where would you say you and Beck were in that? Are you more the hot-headed, let's do this?
Yeah, I'm the one that comes up with ridiculous ideas, and then Beck balances it out a bit with the let's think about this and make sure. But she the cool thing is she's happy to go along with it. But she likes to kind of add a bit of the breaks to it, I suppose.
Yeah. What Andrea does for me, and has always done with our business ventures, is she gives me that push to say, yeah, it's okay, let's do this.
Yeah, that's
a lot of the time perhaps I wouldn't risk our life savings again, or I wouldn't risk, which we did with the shop we set up only a year or so ago. We threw everything and a whole lot more into that, and we were both like, okay, can we do this? And it was like almost having a partner who supports that gives you the green light, and it's so important to make things happen. But again, doesn't always work out. That one was a big failure, but
it's
that's how it goes.
But the funny thing, the funny thing, not ha funny, is that even after such a difficult time with that, it wouldn't stop you from trying a different venture if the opportunity arose. If something came up, it wouldn't stop you from taking another risk which involved finance or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to stop you, is it? I mean,
no, we'll do something else.
Yeah. It's about, you're bound to. You just can't.
Probably not retail. I was
Yeah.
chatting to I don't know who I was chatting to. I've talked to so many people these days, but yeah. And I can't imagine us doing retail again. Actually, it was Andrew and I last night because it came up.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, maybe not retail again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd never say never actually. uh,
Okay. Stu says Stu Mandry says I may be going full-time reselling next year. If I do, I might start doing some YouTube vids totally out of my comfort zone. Excellent.
and it will be
Mm.
tough, especially making your first one or two. You will feel awkward. You probably won't be very natural on camera if it's anything like me. But you have to just kind of push through that bit. Put it up, let people watch it. Most people will be lovely and gracious about it and give you some nice feedback. And then you can move on. I just read an interesting comment from Caroline from the Celtic Traders. She says, Phil's more outgoing. I'm more driven. Completely opposite. So that's interesting. I think it's similar dynamic to Andrew and I. We have different strengths. It's interesting that she says it feels more outgoing because in the videos, I'd say Caroline is very upbeat and bubbly and yeah,
Yeah.
fascinating, isn't it?
And then Megapixel says one of my biggest comfort zone breaks was 2 years ago when I went on my first run in daylight. I was so self-conscious running in front of other people. Now I'm running half marathons. See that, it, when you first stepped out, I suppose on your first run, I bet you never thought you'd be doing that. And hopefully soon you'll be sat here saying, "Now I'm running marathons." I mean,
I can identify with that.
that's
When this
so
is
cool.
going back to 99, coming into 2000, when I was training to try and get in the police, I had to get super fit.
Yeah.
I would run at night.
Wow.
Because I felt so self-conscious.
Just about running.
I don't know why. Yeah, just running around in my shorts or whatever. I hated the fact that I perceived people were looking at me and thinking stuff, but I was way more shy then, even that length of time ago.
Yeah, I think that is really epic. Sib K says, "Yeah, good work. Honestly, kudos to anyone who felt like this." Zahir Malik said he was embarrassed to do this, but I hope he does eventually. Kudos to you. Yeah, definitely kudos there, Megapixels. That was amazing. It's and I suppose that's one other source of to help you, push yourself out of a comfort zone is the information out there on how to break out of comfort zones and other people's experiences. I mean, I think right in the beginning I read out a message from Mr. Hale about the same thing, where he said that he watched the videos that Nick has put out and the videos that we've put out, and that's given him the knowledge to pick up certain items or whatever, and that's helped him get out of his comfort zone. And I think that you can watch other people that have done this to get inspiration from them. I mean, even my Brave the Shave charity thing that I did, I was inspired by Rebecca, because last year Rebecca did this most amazing thing, and it was like seared in my head when she finished. I should warn you, it can apparently get quite emotional when you first do it. You can apparently get quite emotional when you finish the
Oh man,
marathon.
are we going to get totes of mosh?
It's possible. It's possible. But yeah, when and that inspired me, and it stuck in my head, and then I eventually got around to doing that, and now we're aiming to do to repeat that. And I just feel that you can take so much from other people's experiences, and if other people have broken out of comfort zones and done different things that they previously couldn't do, you can also, it gives you that strength to believe actually you can do it. And in a funny way, it was Nick that actually got me out of my comfort zone. I mean, I'd been watching reselling videos. I remember my very first reselling video that I ever watched was a guy called DIY Mike in the States. And this guy is amazing. He told a story on how he was like a substitute teacher, in debt, not earning much money, and he turned to eBay using his knowledge of like car parts and things, and he made a lot of money. And that's what turned me on to the whole thing. This was a few years ago now, and then then I saw like Gill Daddy and Gill Mama making videos on how they were selling on YouTube and on eBay, you know, but I still didn't take the plunge. And the reason was I thought to myself, yeah, but they're in America, right? I can't do it. And then suddenly Nick pops up saying exactly what I needed to hear. And, you know, Nick's experience and the fact that he was saying he was doing it and he was in the UK was what I needed, you know, to give me the inspiration and to give me the strength to jump out of my comfort zone of having been an employee for all my working life, to you know, just taking the plunge.
I think all of us need that at some point in our lives. We just need someone to say, yeah, it's possible, and kind of almost give you the green light to say, just do it. Yeah, I've been there, I've done it. And I think that's all I provided you, enough confidence,
yeah,
to think, yeah, I can do this. And I just want to say, I scrolled down, I just noticed Kirsten said, when I started running, I always ran in the dark. So we were doing exactly the same thing. Cool. And I've just read as well, I'll quickly read, Lisa's dad just got back from visiting her dad, and things aren't going very well with his operation and stuff. So I can only hope, Lisa, that they can work that out for him. That sounds awful.
Yeah, that does sound terrible.
Crumbs.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just still glad to this day that I was able to inspire you to take the jump.
I know it's just, but again, it's for me that's like a perfect reminder of it. You know, it just makes things. It just gives you that confidence, like you said. Sometimes people just need that final push, that final nudge, and it's within everyone's power as well. I think that's the key to remember as well, that anyone can make a change. Anyone can push themselves to do something that they haven't done before. You know, where even today, even a minor thing like today, I researched my first item of jewelry. I've never touched jewelry before, like, you know, rings or anything like that. It's just not my area. Like Rebecca loves that stuff and she knows how to do it far better than I do. But I thought, well, why not? And, you know, I started to look into this ring. I just set myself the task and trying to figure out what I could about this ring. And it's given me so much more enjoyment than like doing something I just know how to do, I suppose. And you do get that pleasure from doing this as well.
Yeah. Well, recently, I think I shared it in one of my sales roundups. I had that little gold cross that had literally sat in my wallet for years, at least 4 or 5 years, and I listed it, and it had sold within the week for, what did I get on it? 50, I think I got on it, and it was easy to list. It was a simple list, a simple package, a simple sale, and it was like, okay. And I only hadn't listed it because I thought I really don't know what I'm talking about, don't know how to describe it, don't really know what it is. Yeah,
pretty crazy.
And then let's talk about this, because I mentioned it at the beginning. Today, this isn't really getting out of a comfort zone, but it's something I wouldn't have normally picked up because it's massive. I found this on Facebook.
I'm going to stop you quickly, Nick, and say, well, it is kind of getting out of your comfort zone, because it might only be a small thing, but it's not something you normally pick up.
True. I tried to do a little video of it as well, and I had an epic fail. I've got this little harness thing that holds my phone here.
Right.
So I did a little intro. So I found this cool thing on Facebook. I'm just going to go out and pick it up. And I did a little bit walking up the road, filming myself, which is out of my comfort zone. Filming outside is weird. So anyway, talking to the phone, got to the car, did a really good intro. And then I put my phone in, filming, and went to the lady's house. And we went in. She invited me upstairs. She was playing it all fancy.
She invited you upstairs and she was playing it all fancy. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What sort of video was this? You're thinking. You know what I mean? Yes. And anyway, we had a chat. I gave her the money and came out. It would have made a really cool, just a like 5-minute video. But I got out of the car, set it on, and I still had my sat nav thing on. And it said, "You are at your destination," as I got out of the car and walked to the door. And that stopped it filming somehow.
Oh, no.
So I got out and I sat in the car and said, "Oh, I'm going to watch this and see what the footage was like." Nothing. Just nothing there. So I failed miserably. Anyway, it is heavy.
Oh, wow.
A kind of I think it's like a full size, all of the keys.
Oh wow.
It's a modern thing. But she wanted, well, I got her down to 45 on it.
Nice.
It's got a stand and other bits and bobs.
What make is it?
It is a Yamaha.
As a serious looking keyboard.
Portable Grand, it says. So yeah, it's quite epic. They don't tend to go in the hundreds, but I reckon if I waited for the right person, I could get 150 out of it.
Nice.
That's the plan anyway. We'll see. I might fail. Who knows?
Well, but that's just it. I mean, and I think that can also lead you on to things like where people have hang-ups about things like shipping large items. Like because it is they're not used to shipping awkward shaped large items, and that's another area that people can actually work on, I suppose, and get into, because there can be a lot of good money. I mean, Nick, you're no stranger to shipping like heavy amps and things like that yourself, and all kinds of like plumbing fittings and weird shaped items.
You asked me earlier whether I was going to ship it. I think because with the stand,
That would be quite I mean, UK shipping would be okay with Parcel Force, but it would be quite an epic job, that, wouldn't it? Because that's quite a...
Yeah, I think I'll try it on local for the Christmas market. If I don't get any joy, I might add shipping and spread my
get like one of those bicycle or TV boxes.
I'd need to. It's huge. Yeah,
huge. It's huge. Lisa says, "Don't tell Andrea."
Oh, she knows. Well, I was talking to her in the live hangout, the Sunday one we did last night, and I thought I told her about it, but I hadn't. So live, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to pick up a keyboard tomorrow." She's like, "Are you? What?" Okay. But I didn't buy the chiropractor bed. I did mention it last night. I was going to buy this great big full size, like,
that would have been a crazy buy.
Doctor's couch thing. Oh, I really wanted to.
Did you see what it went for in the end?
I don't think he sold it. I'll have to check, see if I can find a sold one.
Oh, if he hasn't sold it, that's good.
He listed it 3 or 4 times and got no interest at 50.
Oh, you could knock him down.
Yeah, but
and then what would you do with it?
I might get in trouble.
Yeah, that would be a humongous item. That would be the most humongous item. Megapixel says, "Shame it's not a Korg. A Korg would be epic." Yeah, that's a good brand to look out for, guys. So thanks for sharing that in the chat. Korg do make some really nice synths and things. So Al's Attic says, "Nick, do you have Lion King Scar there? Nice if you do."
No.
It's Pumbaa and Nala, isn't it?
Pumbaa and Nala are those ones, yeah. I managed to sell the Lion King board game last night as well. It was all about the Lion King last night.
Cool. I can Indie Chick saying I can play London's Burning on the recorder. People sharing what they can play. Megapixel says I can play 2 songs on the keyboard: EastEnders and Axel Foley. Wow.
I can't do much. I can barely play the guitar, but I can't do anything on keyboard. I know a handful of guitar chords, if that helps.
Problem Solved has a question. In terms of going out of your comfort zone, do you have any business interests outside of eBay? That's a good question. I mean, I suppose Amazon, it could count. But yeah, other than that, I don't really do much else. But Amazon, I suppose, is a bit out of my comfort zone, just because I don't... Well, it's not really. I just don't like doing it. It's not really out of my comfort zone.
That's kind of the definition of outside of your comfort zone, because it's not comfortable for you, so you don't.
No, it is comfortable. I just don't like it. It's like, I know what I'm doing and how to do it, but yeah, just leave it at that.
We pretty much get our income from eBay and Amazon.
Yeah.
And that is it. We don't have investments or any other income coming in or anything.
But always looking, and I'm always open to, if something else comes up, I'd be on it, definitely. I think David McGregor kind of is a big fan of that as well. Like, he's been quite open that he loves reselling. But if you found something, he's obviously got his other business as well, where he's got his own, like he sells other stuff. And but he said that if you found something that was more efficient, better, or whatever, he'd be onto that straight away. No like emotional attachment to reselling on eBay as such.
Yeah, well, we had the same conversation, didn't we? And I said the same.
Yeah, yeah, if you found something, definitely.
Yeah.
Right. Um, Ray Cunningham says, "Have you guys done a video about packaging, shipping, etc.? Would be useful." I'm sure we've done them in the past, but they've probably gotten lost in the.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've done videos. I know. There's the one that you laughed at when I bubble wrapped the crap out of something, but
Well, that was your live stream.
yeah, it was a live stream. I don't know if that's there
When you
then. I
went
don't.
live for like
The morning.
half a morning,
Yeah.
you were just pootling around wrapping stuff. It was cool.
Um.
Yeah, I need to do another one about how we package stuff, because there's a video that we filmed on our iPad about 2 years ago that gets so many views, and it's absolute crap.
I know. Apparently, I did do one.
Oh, did you? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Peter Cummins says he did video on packaging large electricals. It's a classic. By that, I'm guessing it's terrible. So watch my terrible video.
Yeah, if you ever want encouragement to start YouTube, look at
watch
some of my early ones and Zahir's early ones, and you'll go, "Oh my God, I can't be
what
any
we're
worse than
doing."
these idiots."
Exactly.
Honestly.
I know I did one on how to ship a turntable. I think I definitely did. No, I definitely did one on how to ship a turntable. Bit specific, but
Yeah.
it's a bulky item.
I think those really specific videos are great, though. They go on to have a life beyond the channel because people are searching those specific.
Yeah, I mean, people can be quite particular about how you ship things like turntables. Definitely. I mean, I remember Lonnie actually mentioning when he sold a turntable how his customer contacted him, asked, almost giving him a step-by-step guide on how to ship it. And believe it or not, I think I had a customer as well who had probably read the same guide, and asked me to do the same thing. And there's a specific way they wanted it shipped, which I followed anyway, because it's, why wouldn't you? Because turntables can be really, especially with the plinth, it can be really easy to damage them. So yeah.
Indie chick there says, "My next goal is to sell on Amazon. I need my big girl pants on, as it scares the life out of me." Yeah, when I moved into Amazon FBA, which is now getting on 2.5 years ago, it was a really steep learning curve. I won't pretend it's complicated when you first do it. Yeah. But that is a definite comfort zone moment. You're confronted with all of these questions. You don't understand how it works. You don't understand how you build up an order or how you do the labels. And you just have to, one by one, tick off all the problems and work it out. Thankfully, these days, there's a lot more how-to videos on Amazon, on FBA, on printing labels and all that stuff. And we've got the community. So if you've got a specific question, you can ask.
eBay suddenly looks a lot more intuitive after you've used Amazon.
It is.
Yeah. Amazon almost, some pages of Amazon almost look like you're on their intraweb or something. You're on their own, you're on their own systems, and they've just let you in to.
Yeah. But it's like dispatching a shipment. I'm working on a shipment now. When I've got all of that logged in, right, and stick all the labels on, and then you go to a dispatch page, you have to tick this box, and then there's another tiny bit of text. You have to tick a little box here and press another button there, and then tick a little box here, and then agree to spend £5 on shipping, and then tick another box. And it's like the first time you go through just the shipping page, it's like, what? And it's just, they don't make it simple.
Will you take lessons out there? I can play Jaws on the piano.
What? Ding,
ding. Yep.
It's just 2 keys, mate. And then faster.
Oh, that's when it gets tricky. Yeah, that little bit. The
respect to that.
Definitely.
Has anyone invested in Parcel to Go? I don't know. Have they gone public? Have they?
That they haven't gone public as far as I know, but I did notice a banner when I was purchasing shipping today, where you can, like a crowdfunding thing almost. So yeah, I guess it is like it's something along those lines. I'm not sure if they've I don't know if they've just like floated or anything. I don't think so.
I wonder what
Um,
they're crowdfunding for. To,
yeah, I think it's like buy you can just buy into them for something or yeah, I did see that banner. I don't know where it's gone now, but um no, but no, I haven't done. I haven't done. It was there earlier on. It's gone now, I think. Huh.
there's a question, quite a specific one about GSP. Do you want to touch on that? There's a Megapixel says, question, when I select no international shipping and I deselect certain countries, will GSP still work? I think it will. GSP is a coverall,
Yeah,
and they will ship it to wherever the order comes in from.
yeah,
When you're selecting and deselecting countries, that's for your own international shipping. So yeah,
yeah.
if you've got GSP selected, you will. If you get a GSP order, all you have to do is get it to the UK hub, and that's it. And where it goes beyond that is kind of none of your business. It's like it doesn't matter.
Pretty much. Um, okay. Celtic Traders, Caroline says our early vids are shocking low. I think everyone's are. I think it's actually quite cool when some of the bigger YouTubers make videos like this. There's some YouTubers out there that have got like hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers. And I watched one of them. There's this guy that does like a photography channel. It's really huge. His name's like Jared Polin, and he does all these kind of like tutorial style camera videos, and he's quite a big popular channel. And he shared his very first foray onto YouTube, and what was amazing about it is he's like a different person now. Like when he first went on, not just in confidence but his physical appearance, like he like I suppose going on to YouTube and getting his channel gave him confidence to start working out and looking after himself and everything.
Yeah.
So he's literally a full transformation. It's not just confidence. It's mind boggling. And he made this video a while back, like that you can do this. Like this was me. Check this out. This is what I was. And he was atrocious. Like you'd expect him to be. Because now he's like a really polished, huge YouTuber. He's got like a little intro and he's like Frono's photo and all this kind of. I don't know. He does all this kind of weird stuff, but he's quite fun to watch if you're into cameras and things like that.
That's it. I mean, everybody has to have a starting point, and we're all new to it when we start. So it stands to reason that we're all going to be pretty bad at this when we start out. But that shouldn't stop you, is the point.
Yeah, completely. Southwest Seller says early packing video turntable in a poly mailer.
Yeah. Just in a bin bag.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, it was. I know. I think the turntable one's a bit later, so it's a bit better. Sib says Nick's early videos make you think his parole officer forced him to make videos. So funny why you look so disinterested but interested at the same time. See, this is the thing. Like when you go out on YouTube, it can be so nerve-wracking because you're putting yourself out there and people notice. Like,
well, what I found that those first few, which were in a storage unit we used to rent, the like pixelation was really bad. There was very little light in there, so I looked like I was in a cave to start with, and then the sound was always a bit jumpy and out of sync. And then I was really I wasn't comfortable. I wasn't relaxed. I wasn't really being me and talking like me. So yeah, they were just all round awful.
Yeah.
But they're still on the channel if you want to go and look at them. It does take a while to just be able to have a thought and talk about it, because when you start and you're on film, you feel very like rabbit in the headlights, and your words come out all wrong and you can't think straight, and it takes a lot of getting used to.
It does,
especially
100%.
if you are like me, actually naturally quite shy.
Wow.
They're saying that they enjoy FBA. I'm just going to read it out because you won't believe there's another one of us here.
I'm sure there's lots of people.
I've lost it now. Oh, I don't know who it was. The chat just jumped down.
Oh god, the chat just keeps on jumping, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a bit. Oh, okay. Darren's just explaining about the parcel to go thing. It's an equity offer, so you invest in their crowdfunding and get some shares.
Oh, okay. So you do get shares. All right.
Well, there's an opportunity there if you want to push your comfort zone. You know, that's definitely a way to push your comfort zone.
Yeah. There's a couple of questions coming in. Do you still do merchant fulfilled, Nick? I do on some stuff. Yeah, but I'd say 95% is FBA now. Another one question, Nick. Do you know when you send off open game boxes, e.g., a CNET, do you tape them down or rebag them? I've tried all sorts of different things. I was bagging them. I'm now using. I've just done some today actually. These things that I think there's links on our blog actually that are perfect, and I've just done this Heroica, so you get these little round labels if I get the light on it, and they just look really neat and professional. So that's what I'm using at the minute for board games, and you can seal up media with them as well if you really want to, but I don't tend to bother. So that's what I'm currently doing, but it may change.
That is cool. Right, what are the... It's actually just gone past 7 o'clock. We've actually got over 140 people watching. So thanks everyone who's watching. If you've enjoyed the video, smash the like button, guys. We really like that. It's been a really interesting chat, actually, and it's nice to see so many people getting involved with it. So
I just want to read a top tip out before we go. Megapixel says, top tip, photograph items in the bath. You'll get a brilliant all-round white background. I read that as and pictured him sat in the bath taking pictures. But that's not what it means. I guess you put the item in it and then photograph down onto it.
Well, Barry Francis says, do those clear labels tear the boxes when you try to remove them?
I haven't actually tried. But a lot of board games, when you buy them, have that sort of seal on when you buy them new, and you just snip it through and it looks perfectly neat. So I've been using them for the last couple of months and I've not had an issue yet, any bad feedback. So I'm going with it.
Yep.
It's a solution. I'm not saying it's perfect.
Try it. Karen says, while I've been watching this, I've packaged and done post for 6 parcels and made 2 covers. Not bad. And Pete's Retro's come in and said, my bath's cream coloured. Okay. I think on that note, thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks, Nick, for another, well, what I think has been a really good chat. I really enjoy this topic. Steve decided that the chat would start at 7 today for some reason, so he's only just joined us. So I'm sorry, Steve, that you missed it. Steve, by the way, did actually jump out of a plane like a madman. The video is on his channel. Yeah, so if you guys want to go and have a look at that, definitely do so. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us. It's been an interesting topic. If you've got any comments about it, leave them in the comment section. That's always nice to read as well. And just to put it out there, I think I'm going to be on Bonafide Hustler's channel. I think it's going to be this Thursday at like 1 a.m. Yeah, it's Wednesday night, because it was meant to happen last week, but he had an internet dropout, so he wasn't able to do it. So it's been moved to this week. So I'll be on the Thrift Battle number 4. I think he's already put the link thing up. But obviously, I'm not expecting you guys to stay up till 1 a.m., but you should stay up till 1 a.m. And support me in the Thrift Battle.
Don't we get to vote in the chat?
Yes, that's the whole idea. It's like a game show, so it's actually a really good idea. I think we should like franchise it for ourselves over here.
We'll just steal it and call it something else.
Steal it and call it, yeah. We'll call it something else. And you get to, it's like you have a set lineup of items and you show them in the set order. Also, Beck is going to be on Margaret's channel.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I don't know if that's a secret or not. Don't know if I should have
Shh,
said it.
don't tell. It's all right. Nobody heard you. It's
No
fine.
one heard it. But yeah, she's going to be on Margaret's channel, Texas Gal Treasures. I think that's on sometime on Thursday as well. I'm not sure. Friday we're going to be doing the Chinwag, and then Nick and Andrew, are you back on Sunday?
We'll be back on Sunday, and I am trying to get something prepared for Thursday, which I
Oh,
haven't.
Thursday's going to be jam packed.
Yeah,
YouTube is going to be heaving.
Thursday it's all happening. So yeah, I've got to sort something out. Somebody in the chat knows what I'm talking about.
Ah.
So yeah, that will remain a mystery.
Excellent, excellent. So plenty of stuff for you guys to be watching. So yeah, I think on that note, we will call it an evening. Thanks again, Nick. Really appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.